Many Nigerians, particularly in the southeast, are beginning to show symptoms of uncertainty and discontent over the government of President Muhammadu Buhari's decision to withhold Nnamdi Kanu's release, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. His freedom is not within reach days after IPOB leader was released by the appeal court decision. The Southeast is currently experiencing worry as a result of the court judgment, which was initially met with elation. According to Daily Post, the case between the federal government and Kanu, which involved allegations of terrorism, took a dramatic turn last week when the appeal court cleared him of all the accusations of terrorism brought against him. According to Daily Post, Kanu had applied to the Abuja Appeal Court to have the federal government's allegations against him dropped after being unhappy with Justice Binta Inyako's decision to require him to answer 7 of the 15 counts of terrorism against him. All remaining accusations against Mr. Kanu were dismissed by the Court of Appeal panel, which was chaired by Chomar's Saiki, because the lower court lacks the jurisdiction to entertain the complainant. The court determined that Mr. Kanu's extradition from Kenya to Nigeria in June 2021 violated both the IPOB leader's fundamental human rights and Nigeria's extradition treaty in a flagrant manner. As was expected, different Nigerians' reactions to the ruling were divided. According to the Daily Post, most Nigerians celebrated the Court of Appeal's decision, especially in Kanu's native Southeast, where there was reports of huge celebrations in all the zone's cities. However, the federal government did not appear to be pleased with the appellate court's decision to free Kanu and has since made no secret of its displeasure. Following the decision, the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, claimed that the IPOB commander had merely been released by the Court of Appeal, not cleared. Umar Gwando, Malami's spokesperson, released a statement that summarized Malami's response. It made no promises about the separatist leader's release from custody, as stipulated by the Appeal Court. The Court of Appeal's ruling regarding the trial of Kanu has been announced, according to the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice. For the sake of clarity and following the court's ruling, Kanu was only dismissed and not found not guilty. Contrary to the federal government's response, numerous well-known Igbo leaders and politicians have urged the federal government to release Kanu following the court's ruling. They contend that it will ease tension and bring about a return to normalcy in the 5 southeastern states, which have suffered the most as a result of Kanu's wrongful detention, notwithstanding the court's ruling to the contrary. The prominent voice behind this call was Chukwuemeka Ezife, a former governor of Anambra State. In a recent appearance on the Arise TV morning show, Ezife declared that Kanu's release would make him want to bow or prostrate before Buhari. The release of the separatist leader has also been strongly demanded by the traditional leaders and heads of religious groups in the Southeast region. Days following the Appeal Court ruling, however, the federal government has maintained a low profile and has been silent throughout, keeping the entire country in the dark and creating a sense of suspense. the General Secretary of the Ohanese, Mazi Okechukwu Isiagbozo, expressed concern over the federal government's response to the court ruling in a statement to the Daily Post. He urged the federal government to consider engaging in dialogue and regretted that Kanu's imprisonment had contributed to the insecurity currently felt in the southeast region. Boom! Today, the Nigerian government goes to Supreme Court, appeals judgment freeing IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu. President Muhammadu Buhari's government has appealed the judgment of the appeal court, freeing the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu. The Nigerian government has appealed the matter at the Supreme Court, the Nation reports. The government, in a motion for a stay of execution filed on Wednesday at the Nation's Appeal Court, is asking the court to stop the execution of the appeal court judgment of October 13th. The appeal court acquitted IPOB leader and barred any lower court from entertaining further charges against Nnamdi Kanu. In a 7-ground notice of appeal, which was filed by the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, the federal government did not only fault the lower court's decision, it also prayed that it should be set aside. This is a very serious case, and we don't really understand what the federal government is up to, because knowing too well that releasing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will restore peace in the southeast region, and the federal government is still bent to go on this. It's really very unfortunate, so to say.